This is an old lens. It's the Canon EF 50mm f1.4. It was designed a long time ago. I've owned it for quite a few years. Even though it's old, I pulled it out on a couple of sessions recently and it really surprised me. How could it have surprised me? I own the lens. Well, I don't use it very often. As you know from some of my other videos, I tend to use my 24 to 105 mostly with some other lenses, but this lens had what I was looking for these sessions. And so I pulled it out and I was pleasantly surprised. I'm going to go over the pros and cons of owning this lens for you in 2023. Welcome to the channel. Hey, we're here. I don't use this lens often, but for these particular sessions, what I was looking for was a shallower stop than my 24 to 105, which is only f4. I wanted a little bit below that. And I had to, at the same time, shoot full length. So I couldn't be too tight. I couldn't use lens compression with a telephoto. Honestly, what surprised me the most was the image quality I got from the lens. It really compared favorably to that 24 to 105. The reason for that is because it's a prime lens. It doesn't have to work as hard as a zoom. It has less glass. It has a single focal length. Large topic, but you can have a less expensive lens in a prime and it can do a little bit better than a more expensive lens in a zoom. Canon does not yet make a direct replacement for this lens in the RF mount. They have the 1.8 at the bottom end. I think it's their least expensive lens, and they have the F1.2, which is a phenomenal lens. The 1.2 would be overkill for my work. I would never shoot that wide open or really even close to that wide open for my portrait work for a lot of reasons I've talked about in other videos. In order to use this lens, you're going to need one of the Canon adapter. Other people make the adapters, I think. I use the Canon one. It's the least expensive one. It's a little over $100, I believe. That will allow you to use an EF lens on the RF mount. The entire reason I wanted to use this lens for these sessions was because I wanted to shoot somewhere between f2.8 and f4, which is a little wider than I normally shoot. I was shooting ballerinas, ballet students, in two locations, one in a studio and the other in my studio. And obviously, shooting ballerinas, I needed to be able to shoot full length, not just full length, extended full length. Their hands are up, their legs are extended. It's quite a long shot. So anything wider than 50 wouldn't have worked for me for this. And yet I wanted to have a little bit softer background for what I was trying to do. I'm not going to go over the specs of a lens this old. There's not a point to that. But I will show you the image quality that I got from the lens from some of these images. I'll dive into Lightroom and show you just how sharp and clean these images were. What's important about this lens, to me, I think, and that's why I wanted to do this video for you, is that it's still available new because Canon hasn't replaced it yet, and the price is decent. Yes, it's more expensive than the RF 1.8. I feel the image quality is better, but I think your real opportunity is that you can get one of these in the secondhand market for a lot less than the new price. If you want to buy new, it's a good price. If you want to buy secondhand, it could be a great price. Now, this lens does have some limitations, so let's go over them. First, it doesn't focus as fast as the new RF lenses. Having said that, I was shooting ballerinas and I was having to catch them in motion, and it didn't have a problem. So your mileage may vary. It's not as fast, but in this case, what I was doing, it was fast enough. Second, the autofocus is definitely not as quiet on this lens as it is for the newer lenses. So if your primary purpose is video, yeah, you probably want to go for the RF version or the higher end, something like that, because the RF versions are significantly quieter in their focusing mechanism. If you absolutely can't handle the price, the RF 1.8 is not a bad lens. I did review it in another video. It's got good image quality. But if you want a little better image quality, actually noticeably better to me, and can't handle the $1,400 price tag of the F1.2L lens, this is still a great bargain in 2023 since Canon has not positioned a lens between that 1.4 and that 1.2 yet. Thanks for watching. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to hit me up in the comments. Otherwise, until the next video, cheers.